childcare tax credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker in one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in to the Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, we got DeMornay Pierson-El streaming in. You guys can join in 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. And, of course, we'll keep that open for you guys throughout the entire night. It's freezing, so if you are driving, stay safe out there. DeMornay Pierson-El, how's it going on a very cold, snowy Monday night?
You know, trying to survive. Trying to get through.
Hey, the bright side is if everybody in Lincoln, if we can make it to Monday, I think it's like 55 degrees next Monday. So that's something to look forward to. If we get that warming, all this stuff's going to be gone before we know it. But yeah, it's definitely going to be freezing. So just be safe if you're driving out there. Drive a little slower. You don't want to rear end somebody, especially when it's freezing cold outside. Not a fun time to swap insurance seat. It's just absolutely freezing. But like always, we're not going to talk about weather the entire time. We got a few things. We're going to talk about some of the things that are exciting over the weekend, in particular Husker baseball. And later in the show, I want to talk about the college football playoffs because guess what? DeMornay Pierson-El, I think we said it at the beginning. These people in charge like money, and what's an easy way to get money is expand it. And there's looks like some real work's being done to try to push that through, maybe even as early as next season or even a couple seasons from now. So let's start off with Husker baseball. They just lost today, a little bit surprised by it, to Grand Canyon University. They're a decent program, though. I'm not going to say it's like a total shocker. But they, 2-2 leaving Arizona. You liked what it looked like in the middle. The first game was a disaster. Second and third game, incredible wins. And then the fourth game, a little bit of a disappointment again. We'll go through them individually, but DeMornay Pierson-El, thoughts on Huskers leaving the road trip 2-2?
They did a lot of good things.
Absolutely.
You didn't finish how you wanted to, but I mean, you beat a stud SEC team, regardless of what anybody said. Vanderbilt's a good baseball program. You get down there and you beat them, so that's good that you get that experience early. For later on down the line, so that's good. I feel sorry for the pitcher. I mean, that's rough. A lot of positive. I definitely think steps in the right direction. Just have to continue building off of things and whatnot. But I don't want to say all underperforming tournament, but I like what was shown. You went out there and competed. It was a tough weekend, understanding Mr. Sharp, that whole thing with baseball and everything like that. So I'm gonna chalk it up, to that. You had a impressive win over Vanderbilt that got you through that, and you just kind of maybe wasn't prepared the next day to go forward after or whatsoever.
The next day they're prepared again. It was just the day following after where they
my bad.
Won 3.
But I think overall a strong showing, one that you can be proud of the weekend.
Yeah, and that's the thing, so we'll quick go through it. Obviously the one that kind of concerned me a little bit. Baseball, you never know. Early in the season, some of these teams might actually be pretty good, but it's all said and done. But UC Irvine felt like when you lose by 5 runs, you're not feeling great, a little bit unsure, what is this Husker team going to look like? And then obviously the news with Greg Sharp passing, obviously everyone in Husker Nation has their condolences, not only for him, but his family and honestly, anybody who was lucky enough to meet that guy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I never did, but he's one of those guys. You never heard a single bad thing about him. So, obviously, still want to give him all his respect, especially my parents. I know my parents. I told Jay
He was
Funk
always around.
Sunday.
He was always in the mix of things. Like there is, you can't have one without the other. Like he was a pivotal point in Nebraska sports period.
Yeah, and 2008 is when I think he really took over for the play-by-play for football, and then baseball, obviously following that as well. And with my parents, we've been through a lot of seasons where you can call them white knuckle games with Husker football. Like my parents just loved going in to the garage and listening on the radio instead because they just get so nervous watching it live on TV. So I know he's always going to have a special place, certainly for those guys. So with all that being said, there's a lot of emotion in that Vanderbilt game. Day 2 now, 15th, they got Vandy, and it's one of those, like, yeah, it's emotional. It can serve as fuel, but I mean, it's also just a lot. You don't know how that emotion is going to transpire, and it's neither wrong or right how it transpires. But luckily for them, they found a way to battle through. We talked about it. Timmerman took a 104 mile an hour baseball on a rough bounce off the bat straight to the dome. It's I thought about putting the picture up on the stream. I don't want to do that to people. It's a brutal looking picture if you haven't seen it. I don't know what was going on with his right above his lip and underneath his nose there. It took me a second, but shout out to him for battling through it. He was in the team picture afterwards, so I'm sure it hurts like hell, but he stayed through it.
They got to give him the good medicine early.
They had to have. That thing had to have been throbbing. Like, there's no way he could endure just like watching that game after taking 104 miles to the face. Like, your head
hurting is on Pluto right now.
So I don't know. I didn't actually see if he actually broke anything. I'm sure the contusions are obvious. Maybe a broken nose. I really got no idea. I'm surprised it wasn't worse. The sound of that baseball hitting him was horrifying. It was a nasty sound. All that being said, you found a way to win that one 6-4 though, despite the high emotions, despite the crazy freak accident play with Zimmerman. Plays like that just kind of shake people up when you just see something. I mean, even Vanderbilt players were a little bit shaken up as well. You saw the batter immediately kind of put his hands over his head. So it was good that the game transpired and everything was all right. Then the next day they play San Diego State and put an absolute whooping on him. 13-0. A perfect shutout. Walsh, great day on the mound. And then today comes around, the one game that I wasn't really keeping eyes on, unfortunately, because I thought it was going to be a good day for Nebraska. Grand Canyon University. They take it in a low-scoring game, 1-3. So I'm with you, 2-2. That's a great start, just considering what you had to play on the road there.
Yeah,
a little bit of a weaker finish with Grand Canyon. I thought you'd be able to get that one. You lost to the two teams I thought would be locks, and you beat the two teams that I thought were going to be challenging. So, I mean, that is baseball for you, though. It's wildly unpredictable. I do feel pretty good about it. The next one, a lot of these, obviously, they're going to be on the road until they get to their season opening, which won't be until March 5th, and that's South Dakota State. But they got, 3 games versus the Ragin' Cajuns on the road, and then they got another neutral site classic, and that's going to have Sam Houston, really good competition, and LSU, Kansas State. So that's going to be
again. But you mix it, and then you mix in that in early. You're seeing it, and it's something that you can draw on later on in the season. So it's good to go up there and to be in those tournaments with those teams and whatnot, because I mean that's who's going to come down to at some point in time. You might face one or both of those teams in a pool play in a regional.
Well, and that's just it too. We've talked about this before with Big Ten, but you're right. Like, you got to get some of those good games on your resume, because I'll do a little bit of trivia. There's only one answer in the past 20 years. Who is the only Big Ten team to actually make it all the way to the College World Series championship game? Yep, Michigan, 2019 or 2019. You have to go. I was doing this with Bach back there. You have to go to like the 70s before you find another Big Ten team.
That's terrible.
And then once you're at the 70s, then it stops for a long time. Then you have to go to like the origin of when the College World Series actually started, and then you'll find Michigan and Minnesota. Ironically, Minnesota up there.
A true Big Ten team, not Maryland. Not Oregon, or like a true Big Ten team. Correct.
UCLA, yeah, correct. UCLA got in there. I can't remember. It might have been the 80s, 90s, or even 2000s. But I'm not going to count them because they weren't Big Ten at the time. So the challenge for Nebraska and why I like what they're doing on these neutral site classic, they're entering in these tournaments with really good competition. The Big Ten, unfortunately, just does not have the respect in the baseball world. We've talked about this before. So if you can notch some big wins early in the year, especially when you catch, maybe LSU, Sam Houston, maybe they're just off stride. They haven't caught the rhythm yet. That bodes well down the stretch.
Yeah.
And then if you take care of business in conference play, which Nebraska has done a good job at in these past couple of years, now you're cooking with gas at the end of the year. And you can actually set yourself up pretty well in some of those regionals. That's kind of the way I see it, because the Big Ten, I want to talk about the last time you saw a Big Ten team in Michigan to the College World Series championship game and everything behind that, because you just really find out the Big Ten has not thrown contenders in the baseball world at all outside of that Michigan team. And, even back then, I couldn't tell you what baseball looked like, how many, elite programs there were. So I'm not even sure how impressive that was. If some of those other schools were pumping a lot more money into it, Michigan is just such a statement, well-run program and has been for so long. So it doesn't surprise me to see a school like that back in the day go ahead and notch up some championship runs. What's your kind of anticipation? I know we only saw 4 games for Nebraska baseball. The bats can be explosive at times. That seems like an upgrade from last year. Losing the Big Ten pitcher of the year. We'll see what that looks like as the year goes on, how much he's going to be missed. Thoughts on this team in a very broad way? You think they're going to improve or?
I definitely think they're going to improve. I mean, anytime
on the record from last season is what I'm talking about. Like I'd have to look up.
That's a tall order.
It is.
It's a few things that are unknown, and I feel like once we get a chance to understand what we have, you can kind of see that better. But regardless of it, I mean, like I said, Vandy is still a good college program, and you already knocked them out early on. So that you knocking on the door early. I like it. It's just tough to say what it's going to be right now with not seeing, the push or change or people hit their strides and everything like that, or at least, see them enough to be consistent and to pick out things. So hopefully, I mean, I hope the floor is at least last year.
Yeah. And last year would be, it's not asking for like a crazy year. They had some questionable losses last year as well, or just whatever reason they weren't showing up. I think they had a tough loss to Creighton and UNO last season, and their record was 40-22. They were good at home, 18-8, 15-9 on the road, not bad. So again, it's a good team, definitely a good team in the Big Ten, the best team in the Big Ten last year. The challenge for Nebraska is they have to be better than the rest of the Big Ten to the point to where they're pulling the Big Ten to be prominent, the same way Michigan did in 2019. And you look at that and you kind of realize like why that was such a big deal. It's like it does not happen with these Big Ten teams. So I never thought I'd say it. So shout out for Michigan for doing it that one year, for getting some relevance in the Big Ten. But I'd love to see Nebraska do that for this conference, especially when you're adding some of these better schools in here. Now we're going to have to deal with UCLA, Oregon. Not sure Washington's baseball program really looks like, and then USC as well. But this is going to be an opportunity for Nebraska, especially with these new schools coming in, like really assert yourself that you're still that top dog. Like you don't give a damn about these Pac-12 schools entering. You got to continue to be that top dog, and eventually over time, try to make some noise for the Big Ten. Any other thoughts on Husker baseball after the weekend?
I mean, just keep moving forward, one day at a time.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about what was one of the craziest games I watched. Watched it with Austin Orman here at 93.7 The Ticket as he was getting ready for the postgame show. Nebraska basketball wins it. They turn off. They take off that loss, I should say. In one of the most bizarre games I think I've probably seen, 68-64.
Man.
And if I would have told you it was 21-41 at one point in time, or even the fact that the Huskers only had 21 points at the end of halftime,
it's crazy.
I mean, my class of kids, at Cedar Catholic was 40. That was the class size. And there's about 20 boys. And my C2 basketball team was scoring more than 21 points and a half. So despite having such a horrible start, really impressed by Nebraska to pull this away. We'll dive into the analytics, but thoughts on Nebraska pulling off a major upset on the road?
The fact that you pulled that off late in the season can help you and it could kind of hurt you because it's like, it's Northwestern or whatnot. But I mean, it's excitement. It's an attention grabber. It might make the people of with the powers or whatnot look at you a little bit different. It's like, hold on now, like I know it was Northwestern, but they still battle back and still got it. This still, that can get you a couple brownie points. So the fact that the game didn't go how you wanted to go or start off how you wanted to win, but you finished it. It is very, very good. You have that in your bag. You have that experience to draw on, and I think with this team that continues to grow together and everything like that, that's important. They've hit their second win in the season, and they're capitalizing on a lot of things. So it's definitely an exciting win, but again, it goes back to win the games you have to win.
And that's certainly one where you could argue they didn't have to win it, but it certainly makes that case like it's going to help you out. And if you do end up losing one of those, quote unquote, you got to win this one. Well, you got some of these reserves now in the back where it's like you got Northwestern, you beat them on the road. I'll tell you this much though, thank God Boo Booey's not there anymore. Boo Booey's not letting Northwestern lose that one the way they were heading into the locker room at half. If Boo Booey's there, I'm telling you right now, I don't think Nebraska pulls that off. That guy, that's years of torment from that guy. He was a phenomenal player. I love to watch him, but anytime he played Nebraska, he just scared the living daylights out of me. That guy is a Northwestern icon for what he did for that program. But their offense just fell apart in the second half. Northwestern and Nebraska picked up really well. And then Bryce Williams is just having a hell of a year. His shot making is getting I don't even want to say shot making because he's just taking some really tough shots at times, but he's got such a good touch on it. You could argue that DeMar DeRozan touch. I don't want to compare him to DeMar DeRozan, but he likes a lot of those same spots on that short baseline where he's shooting those mid-range jumpers, just getting a quick pump fake, just enough room to get it off. Is Bryce Williams going to stay this hot into the tournament, likely, if Nebraska keeps playing the way they will?
I mean, I think so. I mean, it's been his show all year round. So, I mean, unless unless the wheels falls off or something like that. I mean, I think he's been, the most consistent, and you can bet your bottom dollar, that he will be that.
Yeah, I think he's led the team. He's led the team in most games with points and assists. Occasionally you're going to have someone else, be the point total or the assist leading total for that game, but it's pretty much been Williams. And really impressively doing a hell of a job in terms of playing that point guard for him at times. Aaron Eulis, unfortunately, just still kind of hasn't found where he's effective in these lineups with Fred Hoiberg's team. So to have Bryce Williams to be able to kind of do both things for you really helps a lot. But I will say this for Aaron Eulis, that's a player that's easy to write off. But if he can just figure out where he's effective on the court, I mean, we need that for March Madness because there might be a half where Bryce Williams doesn't have it going. And you need to set him up, not necessarily have him set himself up, get him something light. Aaron Eulis, he's one of those guys where I don't know, trying to figure out what his strengths are. He's a good ball handler. He's good at breaking presses when you need him. He's speed. I don't know if it's a confidence thing with him or just a mechanic thing. What do you see in Aaron Eulis, who's seen certainly a decrease in minutes, but I just still think we got to figure out a way to unlock him a little bit.
I think it's a comfort thing. And just kind of getting him in the flow and in the mix, or just having him go and whatnot. I remember I keep going back to Glenn. I think his last name was Watson. At times, he would just be an athlete and go get his. It wouldn't disturb things or whatnot. If you blowing by people or whatnot, just at times in the game, just have him, let him be an athlete. Let him kind of, do what got him to this point. And I'm not sure if he just doesn't want to make a mistake to where the coach is saying something. He's playing timid. He doesn't want to be, the reason of causing, a negative play or something like that. But it doesn't look natural.
Yeah, it just looks like he's trying to find his spot out there. And the thing for him is I don't know, when the cutoff. He only got 3 minutes in that last game, which is unfortunate because I was, again, I think it's just very big to have Bryce Williams have a guy where he can take some of that pressure off being the sole playmaker over and over. The bright side of it is Bryce has answered the bell just about every damn time for this team. So yeah, it'd be nice to have Aaron Ewell figure out, what his role is and kind of how it evolves later in the season. But at the same time, Bryce Williams has just been having a phenomenal year for the Huskers. And then you look at a guy like Braxton Mia. He was 4 for 5 in this one. He played 23 minutes. Obviously, Burke Berryukengel was out. I think he'll be out for the next game as well because I think they're going from Northwestern to Penn State. I don't think they're coming back home at all. And that one is Wednesday, so I'm almost certain they won't be coming back home. So they'll probably be without Burke again. But in this game, Braxton Mia stepped up. It was a little bit shaky at first. He's a guy that I just feel like he needs to stretch his hamstrings every day. He just seems a little bit stiff to start the games, and as it goes on, he looks a lot better. Late in the game, he was awesome. Early in the game, it was a little bit rough, and he was struggling. He was still doing good on the glass, though. So this, to me, was a good game for Braxton Mia, especially at the end there. And just the ability for guys like Riley Wooster, Bryce Williams. Like, it is, if you can free up the paint somehow, pull someone out of the paint, he is so damn tall. You just have to get it near the rim, and he'll throw it down. And we saw a lot of that towards the end of the game. Thoughts on just Braxton Mia and his improvement, especially in this game. I'm hoping it continues.
He said he got to stretch his hamstrings. That's funny.
Do you disagree?
No, I don't. Sometimes. He might. You know how some players are like that. That you got to get a good sweat and to kind of get their engine. He might just be that type of player. He just needs a good sweat before he starts. I mean, he's found his confidence. He's understand. Okay, when this happens, I can guarantee X, Y, and Z, and he's just been comfortable in his role, and it's been flourishing. And you love to see that again this late in the season, this push in the season and whatnot, coming after I think what was a 7 game loss, losing streak, and everything like that. The team, not just 1 or 2 players. I feel like that the team is bounced back a lot stronger. They look like they're playing a lot closer together, and it's causing them to win a lot of close games.
Yeah, and that's the probably the best thing about this is you're finding ways to win close games, especially games that weren't even close to begin the half, and you made it close. And then not only you made it close, you find a way to finish. It was a weird game for Northwestern. Like, if I was a Northwestern player, it is a weird atmosphere they were in, because despite the first half being as bad as it was, there was still life in Nebraska. Like, it looked ugly, but you're also looking at Northwestern. Like, do you guys want to win this game? This is the worst possible form that can show up. It's kind of similar to how Nebraska and Illinois felt, where I was like, I'm incredibly happy that Nebraska found a way to win that game. But at the same time, I was looking at Illinois like, man, you guys had an opportunity, because the Nebraska crowd was feeling uneasy, and it was a weird atmosphere. It wasn't getting very loud because things were just slow and ugly. Same thing was happening in Northwestern. That's why I mentioned Boo Buie before. Boo Buie would get the crowd going instantly. He's just one of those players. They didn't have anybody really be able to get the crowd excited. And on top of that, Nebraska's offense started to get scorching in the second half. And then just the defense pressure. That's another thing Northwestern struggled with a lot in that second half. They're having a ton of turnovers. Real quick, we'll do I want to see what the turnovers were for them, because Nebraska was pretty sloppy as well. And that's, I keep stating, this was a game Northwestern. I know they want it back badly. So shooting percentage, Nebraska shot 44%, and that is a damn near miracle if you consider what that first half was. Northwestern was actually all right. They were pretty shaky all game long, but they finished with 36%. A lot of that just bad offense in the second half. 3-point percentage, 33%, not bad for Nebraska. 35 for Northwestern, pretty even there. And then free throws, where Nebraska just kills teams on a consistent basis. We got 28 free throws. We made 22 of them. And again, shout out our guy Braxton Mia. You can't call him, Hakamia anymore. He figured out a way to make some free throws at the end there. And I think he missed his first 2, and then he made his last 4, if I remember that correctly. So that was another promising thing. If you're going to have a guy like that out there, people are going to want to foul him, because if not, he's just going to go ahead and easily dunk it. So he's knocking out free throws. You'll love to see that out of him, along with the rest of the team. Turnovers, though. 16 turnovers for Northwestern. Ugly.
All game.
Yep. Nebraska had 14. And that's the other part. But then when you go points off turnovers, we had 17 to their 9. So they also were struggling to score off turnovers. And we've seen the fast breaks get a lot better for Nebraska. They got Penn State next. I don't think we'll have Burke Berryukengel. Hopefully we're going to need to see another big game for Braxton Mia. and Andrew Morgan. He played pretty good in that one as well. Started making free throws at the end, just like Mia was. This team, I thought, might be dead in the water in the middle of the season. 20 seems very likable. They're, quote unquote, a lock unless something disastrous happens. Where's your confidence level with this team now? Because it's hard to place. Because I watched the beginning of that game and I feel uneasy to find a way to win.
I like the confidence. I like their confidence. Like I think it is high, but then again, it also depends on who's matched up against them. Because sometimes we play down to the level of the opponent, and sometimes we raise our play. So the fact that they can kind of see that and go back and forth and pick and choose, I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's a concerning thing because it's like, we would want you to be more consistent through stuff or whatnot. But the fact that you can kind of play off it and it's been good for you, hopefully you just don't run into the wrong team at the wrong time. But I'm high with their confidence. Like I said, I mean they've been battle tested. They've battled through some things. They battled through rotations, changing things up and whatnot, and still coming out on top. So I mean, this team is not afraid of challenges or anything like that. They just hopefully have to start fast.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. You see a lot of the games where they don't start fast, and that was a large part of that 6-loss losing streak because they didn't start fast enough, and the offense isn't good enough unless you're having an electric Bryce Williams night like he was for Northwestern, where he's just hitting tough shots to keep you in the game. So start fast and definitely consistency. I think you're right in saying, like, it's concerning and it's good at the same time. We know we can play really good ball.
For sure.
We know we're susceptible of just playing some sloppy basketball, which that's literally the tale of two halves in that Northwestern game. Really bad team in the first half, a fantastic looking team in the second half. Final thing, and we'll throw it to break since we're a little bit over. Fred Hoiberg looks like he might have punched a locker or a whiteboard in the
Get
half.
mad. We like it.
He does a good job holding his composure. A lot better than Dan Hurley. I would have never known he was that upset until after he came into the halftime with the hand bandaged. Stuff like that fire you up as a player, just as the competitive athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember Bo used to get on people and all right, okay, cool. So especially with him, because he's not really like that. He's not really a yeller or anything like that. So for him to have something like that, I can only imagine it's like, oh, okay. Like, he set a fire and you seen what happened.
Yeah, my thought was, and I told Austin Orman this, I was like, we better find a way to win this game because that question is going to suck in the press conference if we lose it. But you're right. I mean, there was clearly a fire under that team. We looked better immediately in that second half. You could argue the first minute, a little sloppy, but pretty much after that, in that second half, it was all Nebraska basketball. And Northwestern had a few moments, but it was clear Nebraska was steaming to take that lead and steal another win on the road. We'll throw the break here. On the other side, we're going to talk about this college football potential playoff expansion that they're already working on with some of those other Power 4 conferences. Don't go anywhere. Don't punt hour. Good morning, Pierson-El, Harrison Arns. Talk to you on the other side.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual Planner Clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, February 19th and 20th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere planners and performance upgrades, covering topics such as new technology, in-cab monitors, maintenance points, and options to increase your operations profits. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation and exact shot. Don't miss Landmark's Planner Clinic, February 19th and 20th in Hastings. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Mulberry Barbecue now has a brand new second location to help all your lunch and dinner cravings. Stop by their newest location at 6125 Apples Way near Lowe's off of Highway 2. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burn-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Mulberry Barbecue open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway and now at 6125 Apples Way in South Lincoln.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Travis with Midwest Bank, now with 2 branches conveniently serving Lincoln and 8 other locations across Nebraska. We're here to help you with any of your needs. From opening a checking account to buying a home or financing your business, our staff is here for you. Stop in and you might see Shin Daddy himself. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank, member FDIC.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And free fitness training to help you mix up your routine. Plus, most clubs are open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends February 28th. See Home Club for details.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour, segment number 2. We're going to talk college football in this segment and probably as well as the third segment as well. College football playoffs, they're already talking about expanding that thing out, likely in the 2026 season if it goes their way. Clearly last year, heated negotiations, it pretty much got handed how this is going to go down. The Big Ten and SEC are going to have the most control. They basically threaten to have their own postseason if they weren't given the majority of the revenue and control of the college football playoffs. Now or I shouldn't say the playoffs, just the league in itself. Now they're starting to really exercise it. So
sounds like that.
Do is essentially break this thing out to 14 or 16. They're going to meet again in New Orleans, I think later this month. That's going to be the second time meeting in about like 6 months. They're bringing in other schools. It's not like it's just the SEC and Big Ten. They're talking to the Pac-12. They're talking to the ACC. Is this a good idea? We'll just start there. To branch this thing out even more and have 14 or 16 teams.
Sounds like the SEC is crying that they didn't have enough teams in the first go-around. And what do you do with a kid throwing a temper tantrum? You try and give them whatever they want. So this is what you can say. It's a money pool or whatever or whatnot. As we've seen, college football is a lot closer to each other than some of these other superior conferences saying what they weren't, or accusing them of what they were. I don't think it'll be a bad thing. 16 seems like a bit much. I wouldn't be mad with 14. I don't think 12 was off. I'm cool with 12. Everybody can get in, at some point in time. So I mean, you can't keep erasing the boundary and drawing a new boundary. I'd be okay with 14, but I think 16 is a bit much. Then you have to take into account for you might see. We didn't see it this much this year of kids backing out because of draft stock and everything like that, which is actually kind of good.
Yeah.
But you're adding what, 2 more games if you go to 16?
Yeah, well, this is where it gets kind of weird, right? So it depends how they format it. And this is a little bit where we're just stabbing in the dark because we don't really know how they want to. And this one's coming from the article on Yahoo Sports. Let me actually give you the proper name. So if you guys want to go ahead and read it, you can yourself, by Ross Dellinger. And he's basically been out there talking to everybody, trying to figure out, what's the sentiment out this? How serious is this? And basically what he's getting out of it, talking to the Big Ten and SEC in particular, the 14 or 16 team model would grant 4 automatic qualifiers to the SEC and Big Ten. So SEC and Big Ten, 4 automatic qualifiers, 2 each to the ACC and Big 12. So ACC, Big 12 only get 2, and 1 to the highest ranked group of 5.
That's too much.
It's a lot. And
because regardless of your record and everything like that, you can let's say a Clemson. If a Clemson, wasn't in the position that they were in, they might not necessarily be in that. So who would be the Clemson, a 3-loss, 4-loss team in the Big Ten that you have to take because you agree with 4 teams? And I think that's not fair.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's way too many buys. I get it. These are the better conferences, but
best teams.
Nobody was like Ohio State was going to beat everybody. And we can throw 10 more teams in there. Ohio State was going to come out of that thing. Like as much as I love to represent the Big Ten schools, like sometimes more isn't always better. And I know people are going to watch. They will. Football's always good. But you also risk a little bit, and we don't know what the line is. One day, I hope we never find out. Can you dilute your own product, putting it out there so much, expanding these playoffs so much that it just kind of it's on all the time. You're not really that engaged early on. They'll still make money out of it. But at the same time,
I think a lot of people was engaged just because it was different, and they want to kind of see how it goes. I think next year, regardless of who gets in, you're still going to have the people. You're still going to have your SMUs where people think that they're not going to deserve or have a right, to be in, but that they were a good team. You're still going to have your ASUs who they finished the season strong or whatnot, but teams are still not really taking them serious, and they went toe-to-toe and should have beat Texas. So they have a lot more respect, or, your Boise States or whatnot. I don't think you can't put a cap on it on guaranteed teams. I mean, because look at what happened with the SEC. I mean, they all canceled each other out. Now, that's not the SEC's fault that, okay, your top 5-6 teams are all good and y'all all got the same record and y'all all canceled each other out. That's on y'all with y'all scheduling. And y'all play one less game.
Conference games.
Yeah, y'all play one less game than everybody else. So maybe if y'all figure things out and whatnot, you wouldn't have that problem or whatnot. So you can't demand 4 teams play a one less game and add 2 more teams just to make sure that you get your numbers in or whatnot. No, have a better team. I think 16 would be too much. I think 14 you're pushing it. I like the setup that they have how they had it with 12.
Yeah, I actually thought the 12 was good. You can maybe tweak it a little bit, with some of those group of 5, but it was fine. Very slight tweaking needed with that. This one, if you expand it, even though I'm a Big Ten fan, I do not think this is.
If you expand it for the wrong reasons right now, who's to say that the Big Ten or the SEC won't move the goal line in a year and a half? They're going to reconvene. So now you're always going to try and please the temper tantrum child.
Well, I think you nailed it right at the beginning with that statement. What happened to the SEC this year? Weren't really seen.
You weren't dominant.
No, because Georgia lost, and that was their guy, Well, Texas as well, but Texas, they end up losing as well. So it just became, I don't know if this goes through, if the SEC has a good showing, it would have inevitably. They should play 9 conference games at the very least if they're going to seriously push for. We get 4 buy-ins, play 9 conference games. Then that's outrageous. Still don't.
If that's the case, okay. Outside of your 2 top SEC opponents, whoever that third team is, y'all automatically at 12 because you play 1 less game.
Yep.
So we'll give you certain spots or whatever, but whoever your third team is, or your 4th team is or whatever, regardless if they have a better record than 11-12, you're going to be at 11. You're going to be at 11 and 12 because that's not, what I mean. You're playing lesser games, and your cakewalk game is late in the season.
Yeah, and it's always like Mercer or Liberty.
How do y'all always get the same 4 teams each and every year? That
Mercer, I'll tell you what. Have you seen the campus of Mercer? They got a lot of new buildings going up.
I wonder why. Thank you, Alabama.
Thanks, Bama. Here's the win. Real quick here, we got to go to break again, but obviously the Big Ten, SEC, a lot of money in for those guys. 4 buy-ins sounds fantastic. That's first of all, that's also total crap because that is guaranteed money. We know about the playoff money you get, so you're just gonna middle finger to the ACC and Big 12. We're taking this. This is our money. We're gonna get 4 automatic bids. Obviously, revenue sharing. Here's the ACC commissioner, Jim Phillips, on it, and I do think he's spot on. You want to expand it, but I'm gonna read exactly his quote here because he's right. It needs to be a true championship, not artificial and not invitational. The 4-team buy-in seems very invitational. I get it. Those are the 2 best conferences, but you're going to have years where that's going to look ugly. If you don't, you're not going to want to put that crappy, I shouldn't even say crappy, but that 4th best team in the Big Ten who has no.
Who would be the 4th best team? You can name 3 top dogs in the Big Ten, and that 4th team, you might be we'll see. You got Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon were the 3 best dominant teams this year. Who would you put at 4?
Indiana. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, this year was
I forgot about Indiana. Indiana was pretty solid.
This year was a good year for the Big Ten, though.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if we went, this would be a better. We got to throw it to break. We're going way over. But if we use the SEC example, like, you're going to see there are going to be years where that's just going to look horrible, and it is going to feel artificial, and it is going to feel exactly what Jim Phillips said. There's going to be years where it makes sense, years you don't. 4 buy-ins. I like the Big Ten way too much. We'll throw it to break here. Don't Punt Hour. One more segment with the morning Pierson-El.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Travis with Midwest Bank, now with 2 branches conveniently serving Lincoln and 8 other locations across Nebraska. We're here to help you with any of your needs. From opening a checking account to buying a home or financing your business, our staff is here for you. Stop in and you might see Shin Daddy himself. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank, member FDIC.
Mulberry Barbecue now has a brand new second location to help all your lunch and dinner cravings. Stop by their newest location at 6125 Apples Way near Lowe's off of Highway 2. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burn-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Mulberry Barbecue open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway and now at 6125 Apples Way in South Lincoln.
At Lincoln Family Chiropractic, they believe everyone deserves to live a pain-free and active life. Whether it's neck pain, shoulder pain, or lower back pain, Lincoln Family Chiropractic specializes in customized care for every patient to promote faster healing, allowing you to get back to an optimal life. Lincoln Family Chiropractic's team specializes in treatments such as dry needling, cupping therapy, and traditional adjustments. Give Lincoln Family Chiropractic a call today, 402-484-5166. Visit them online at lincolnfamilychiro.com or in person, 1 block south of 70th and 8th Street in Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with 0 down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, snow likely throughout the day. It'll be breezy and cold with a high of just 6 above. Tonight, a chance of snow. It'll be cold, the low of 7 below. And tomorrow, snow likely throughout the day with continued cold temperatures, a high of just 1 above. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in segment number 3. Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. Pierson-El streaming in. And we're going to switch it up here. I think we can put a pin on the college football playoff format because it's going to come up more and more as more conversations are being had. So let's talk about the NBA. And it was a ticket. We just put up a clip not too long ago from Sunday. Hosta Breezy talking about the NBA viewership, why it's declining. Already getting a little bit hot on TikTok and YouTube in terms of the comments. Good morning, Pierson-El. What's your answer? Why is NBA viewership declining?
I mean, people aren't entertained. They want to see, the best go against the best. They want to see people competing and trying and whatnot. And what they got out there is just, people wasting people's time.
Yeah, and that's I always use this example because anytime people say load management isn't hurting the NBA, it's totally fair that these guys do it. Yes, in cases where they are actually hurt and injured, yeah, I'm not saying throw Jim out there when he's got a broken arm. I'm just saying stop making up fake ones. Like, play the damn season you're scheduled to. I hate the load management. It's not fair to the fans who paid tickets. I'll never forget. First NBA game, go up to Minnesota. Lakers are playing the Timberwolves. Chickens were cheap. We're going to be up there in that area. So it's like, awesome. Let's go watch it. LeBron's not even there. He doesn't fly there. Rajon Rondo's in street clothes. I can't remember who it was. The only superstar on that team playing for both rosters was Karl Anthony Towns. That was it. And that was my first experience. And it was just super disappointing. And that happens a lot to a lot of these fans who want to go watch their favorite player and their favorite players in street clothes. And, and LeBron, I don't want to pin it all on him because it's certainly not. But he is a certain chapter in the load management. It's good to take care of your body. It's also good to show.
He could have been a catalyst of pushing things forward and people would have fallen in line. But he's indulging in it, and it's hurting the product.
It is. And, the NBA All-Star game, what the hell? You show up an hour before and then decide you're not playing?
I'll show you how great I am, but that's the people's GOAT.
Yeah, and I just, stuff like that, it drives me nuts. Shout out Mississippi Mud Dog. He's taking credit for bringing this up the other day. You might have. I'll give it to you. Why not? It's a hot topic in the NBA world of just why viewership is going down. I do think another part of it, and again, it falls a little bit on LeBron, it falls on guys like KD, it falls on a lot of people. You don't get to root for teams anymore the same way you used to. The players come and go so fast that you love a team, you love the roster, and then the superstar.
It's not even intense as it used to be anymore.
No.
Who can you say are rivals?
Well, that's just it. I use this example all the time, too. Kyrie promises to come back to the Celtics. He doesn't. He goes to the Nets. He comes on your court, beats the brakes off you, embarrasses you, and then you take pictures, smile, and swap jerseys after.
There's no. When I think of villains, I think there's two probably villains in the NBA. I would say Ant Edwards. He don't care. He going at anybody and everybody, and Ja has been on a more quieter season, but Ja was a person who spoke his mind, didn't care about, things or whatnot either. Outside of those two, like, I don't really see nobody that kind of is really about that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And as we wrap things up here, I'm just going to give it to Mississippi Mud Dog. He's got the receipts for me. And his point, he's pointing this out yesterday. Overall interest in the league has dropped a lot in the last 5 years. And again, that's a lot of people. Like, my parents literally got to know each other through the Lakers. Like, they love the Lakers. I think they met in a bar watching Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. Like, their garage to this day, when you go down the stairs into like the theater room, you got the Forum, the old Lakers arena sign above you. Like, and they don't care at all about the NBA anymore today. It's completely lost. And it's not
soft. But nobody wants to watch soft crybabies playing around. Like, it's uninteresting, and it gets old pretty quick. And I'll find something else.
Yep. And this is where we'll wrap things up. And that's why, I don't think Adam Silver is the best commissioner, just by letting a lot of this kind of get out of control. And at the same time, the referees got to step it up too. You talk big talk every year about you're going to start penalizing for flops. Like, 2 weeks in, somebody flops and they already forgot what they were talking about all offseason. Like, you got to punish the flops. Don't let that happen. People hate it. It's clearly hurting the viewership. And for whatever reason, they continue to allow it to happen. Good morning, Pierson-El. Appreciate the time as always. We got to get out of here, though. But don't go anywhere. Spare time. Got a couple of Husker Bowlers up next.